Hi, I'm Lori Yancode and I'm 65 years young. My husband asked me this question the other day. He said, "So when are you going to retire?" And I looked at him and I just said, like, from what? Like, from myself? So I don't really think about retirement. I think that that's something that we're taught that we do at a certain age, is that we retire. But if you find something that you love, and you find something that really has meaning for you and creates a purposeful life, you're not going to want to retire from that. I'm a life coach, so I work with clients, and lots of times I work with women who say, I'm 52 and I'm getting ready to retire and I'm not sure what I want to do, or I'm 60 and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. And this can actually be the most exciting time of your life. You get to choose what you do, where you put your focus. Live the next 30, 40, 50 years with doing something that really brings purpose to your life, really fills your heart, and makes you excited to get up every day. So we're taught at the beginning of our life that we work Monday through Friday, get 2 days off, work for vacations, have 1 week off for the rest of the year, and then we retire at a certain age. And when we retire, we get to sit in a chair and watch TV. Well, I want to tell you that that old story is something that I really want you to rethink and possibly not even buy into. When you retire, when you get, and I'm going to call it when you get to choose how you live your new next, the next timeline that you have in your life, you get to pick. It truly is a new adventure. So some of the things that I'm going to be teaching you are, how do you move into this new transition with joy? So here are 4 tips and tricks to really help you transition and help you move through this time with joy and grace and ease and flow. So number 1, rediscover your spark. Go back to when you were a young woman and journal about it. Start to remember, what did I really love to do? What were things that just lit me up? Did I love being outside in Mother Nature? Did I really enjoy working with kids? Did I love being creative with art? And then as life gets busy, you forget about those things. You get in the grind of working Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, and getting an hour off for lunch. And you forget about the things that really made you happy. And you start to think about all the things you need to be responsible for. And this is the time of your life where you actually get to expand on that. You get to step in it and you get to dream again. So thinking about what brings you joy, what lights you up, what used you when you were younger, what made you happy, those are the things that you want to focus on now as you're looking forward to this next new level in your life. So let me get your juices going with a few ideas. So you want to think about, do I want to earn extra money while I'm retired, or do I want to volunteer? Have you always liked working with animals? Do you want to volunteer at the local pet shelter? Would you like to volunteer and foster dogs? They have a really great program for golden retrievers about fostering them. There's so many different ideas. Being an art docent in a school, or working with children, become a big brother or a big sister, mentor children, mentor teenagers, work in a women's shelter. Maybe you want to start an exercise program. Gosh, I never had time to get in shape. Studies show that people 60 and over, if they work on a strength training program just with light dumbbells 3 days a week, they can actually really improve their strength and their health just 3 days a week. So maybe your project is you for the first couple of years of your retirement, and then you're going to move into something else. The idea here is to test out new ideas. Maybe you want to work in your friend's boutique. Maybe you want to work at a local coffee shop. Maybe you want to start a new business, a little side gig, something that excites you that you haven't had time to explore because you were working. Now you get to live the life of your dreams. Now you get to really get excited about all the things, all the books you haven't read, all the places you haven't traveled to. Now is the time to do a big exploration. And guess what? You are the biggest thing to explore. Now you have a time to do a deep dive into yourself and figure out what makes you tick, what makes you happy. At Recharge the Soul, at our retreats, we do a process called the soul process. Self-exploration time to look at where you've been, what's no longer working, what you'd like to actually burn in a burning bowl ceremony and release, whether it be toxic relationships or bad habits, because you're going to be here for a while, especially if you're excited about life. Number two is, now that you have all this free time, what I have found is that when I have more free time, I get less done. So what you want to do is have some sort of a structure. If your regular job was a Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, and then you commuted for an hour home and you wouldn't get home till 7, you probably weren't getting to bed until 10, maybe you want to give yourself a little flexibility and sleep in. But having some sort of structure, saying I'm going to get up by 8 a.m., I'm going to start my day with some sort of practice or ritual, like a miracle morning, a meditation, prayer work, a walk. Starting your day with purpose is really important for your new transition into your next job. So, which is you. You are your next job. And so how are you going to start your day? So start up with a structured program. I like a calendar to design out my day. If you used to have a calendar and that still works for you, that would be a great idea. But having some sort of a game plan, at least a time on when you're going to get up, how you're going to start your day, is really important. I just talked to somebody who was on one of our retreats. She was in Barcelona with us, and she was like, all I do all day long is I get up and I watch TV, and I've gotten very involved with reality TV rather than her own life. So we set up some game plans for her to get moving. She found that she really enjoyed that in retreat. And so she's now starting her daily practice with a yoga, and then she's going to walk in the afternoons, and she's starting an art class. All of these things are just little baby steps that are moving her forward, and then she can explore more from there. But she's not going to find her new job, her next level, sitting in the chair watching reality TV. And she realized that she was getting super bored with life, and the only thing that excited her were watching other people's lives on reality TV. Another thing that you might want to think about is if you haven't had time to develop a spiritual practice. A spiritual practice is something that's really grounding and it connects you to source. It gives you meaning for your life. You want to have some sort of life that has purpose. And so maybe part of your new next is exploring different churches that are around, or starting a meditation group, or maybe you want to start a book club designed around books that you haven't had an opportunity to dive into. This is the perfect time for you to do more learning. I always say that I'm a lifelong learner, and I want you to join me in that. Be a lifelong learner. That old saying, what you don't use, you lose, is actually true here with your brain as well. So get excited about learning new things. We do a fun brain teaser every night before we go to bed, and it keeps our brain super fresh. And it's something that we just found on YouTube, and we do 2 tests every night to keep our brain fresh. Another thing that people do are crossword puzzles and spelling bees. There's so many different things that you can do to keep your brain growing. You want to use it so you don't lose it. Choose growth, not comfort. I was telling you about my friend Pat, who I trained her how to do a triathlon after 60. Maybe you don't want to go that far to train for a triathlon, but maybe you want to stretch yourself. Maybe you want to take a travel trip alone and go solo, and have some type of group like a retreat on the other end waiting for you so that you stretch yourself. People aren't born brave. They create bravery by stretching the muscle that happens when you are in fear. How you get courageous is first you feel fear, then you step through it, and then you grow your courage muscle, because it builds self-confidence and self-esteem that, wow, if I could do that, what else can I do? Build a legacy of joy. So be the leader, the one who shows people how it looks when you decide that you want to be 60 and live this life with both feet in, not on the couch. Invite people. There are so many women out there who are looking for friends. I can't even tell you how many women I meet in retreat who say, I don't have any friends. And then they come to the retreat and they meet a community of like-minded women. Well, you can do this in your own home. You could start a book club. You could start a meditation group. You could start a full moon group where people, every full moon, you get together and do ceremonies. There's so many fun ideas. Gardening clubs, cooking clubs, so many different things that you could do that would be really exciting for you to meet new like-minded friends. I know that at 65, I'm not the same as I was at 40. The people sometimes that I jived with and that I connected with at 40, especially with this, with how much growth I've gone through, might not and probably are not the same people that I hang out with now. And it's going to be the same for you. So finding new like-minded friends is really a beautiful thing. And I always like to think about this thought. I haven't even met all the people I'm going to love at 65. Not even all the people I'm going to love. So give people a chance. This is your time to really do some exploration, not just inwardly, but outwardly. Who do you like being with? How do you feel when you leave the room? Think about that. So all of this talk about finding your purpose and having a mission-driven life and finding your new next might make you think, gosh, what if I could travel alone? What if there is a community of like-minded women? What if I could make new friends? Well, I'm inviting you to come join us at any one of our retreats. Our website's below, so is our Facebook page and Instagram page. Looking forward to seeing you soon.